I'm going to invite Tonya to come
Quite lovely to be here. I'd like to thank Abe for her class. I said I needed my juices flowing again, so it feels good to be writing again. And to thank all the writers who are here, who are willing to do their craft and share their work. I talked to my mother this morning. We have a unique relationship. And it was interesting when Abe said, write about your mother. I think I took a breath then. And said, oh, what am I going to write about? My mother is quite vibrant as a person, and she does very many things, and she's taught me how to do very many things. And in our conversation this morning was about thanking her for many of the things that she's given me in her life. And one of the things she said is that you are my daughter, which is beautiful because she hasn't always claimed me. And so it was nice. And she said, what are you doing today? And I said, I'm going to be reading some poems for Mother's Day. And she said, oh, you wrote a poem for me. And then I said, no, I wrote a poem about you. Her response was, uh-oh. So the first poem that I'm going to share with you is called Soul Survivors, when my parents were a part of a motorcycle club. White t-shirts, black pants, riding boots, dark shades, clean cut. They wore it proud, black fitted vest, displaying the yellow raised embroidery, Soul Survivors. Made you want to touch it, follow the letters with your finger like a stream of Afrocentric consciousness. The Soul Survivors rode 250 deep, resembling the Black Panthers' motorcycle brigade. Women fine, black, beautiful, neatly picked and packed afros, vibrant halter tops, hot shorts, and Vaseline thighs glistening, legs shining like freshly detailed steel and chrome. If your girl was fine and you rode a Harley, you moved to the front of the line. Riding beside their posse, Sam, Buki, Left Feet, Rooster, Bruce, and Red. My parents, young and free, lovers of the boogie and Watusi. Al Green, Let's Stay Together, Etta James, Sunday Kinda Love, James Brown, This Is a Man's World, Tina Turner, Proud Mary. They rolled like the river deep, from Saginaw to Detroit, daring police to pull them over. Together, untouchable. Mom could ride, her hands on the throttle, revving, arms raised, hands gripping the handlebars of her purple chopper. She had a brilliant smile that beckoned you from miles away and dared you not to come. She traded her vest for Sunday school, tent revivals, and church choirs. Now she rose with her posse, Jesus, the disciples, the preacher, and the congregation of District 8. The next piece is called Singer, the sewing machine. My mother loved to sew, sort of connected to your thread. And later when this year, she would never let me actually touch the machine. So this summer when she came through, she actually brought a machine and gave me 3 lessons. And she said, I want to teach you how to sew. And as I started, I realized that that was her space. And when she was sewing, most of the time we would just leave her alone. But she would mostly sew at night. The machine sputtering. Mama's bare foot pressed on cold metal. Needle darting through fabric. Sound threading under my door between the warm mauve carpet and cheap pressed wood. Needle poking me out of sleep. Machine pulling me out of bed into housecoat. Down forgiving stairs, past family portraits, onto linoleum floors. You up? She said. I nod, already wiped the sleep from my face. Eyebrows stretched up, pretending to be wide awake, soft pink rollers and silk scarf still in place. Subtle smile slides across her face, knowing. Hand me those pens, she muffles. 3 sewing pens stuck, balls in red, yellow, 3 sewing stick pens, balls red, green, yellow, balanced on the side of her mouth between lips and enfolding teeth. My shoulders unhunched, guess she needed more. The sound of tapping metal and plastic as I collected a few more, sticking myself fully awake. I watched her fingers feeding the hungry machine. Mine would have been eaten long ago. How did she do that? The pedal released, good shears snipping strings, silence. Silence giving way to a church choir of crickets and barking dogs baritoning in the distance. Her silence nursed the most discomfort in me. My thoughts following silence to a spool of thread around the outline of the machine, through the sockets of metal holes, leading to the eye of the needle, reaching toward the bobbin. Silence. Never a conversation, only barks of commands. Do this, do that, always affirmed and yes, ma'am. My hands and heart wanting as much gentle attention as the tissue paper pattern, neatly unfolded on the cleared kitchen table, slowly cut by hand, laid out on colored fabric, waiting to become something it was not. Deep breath and held at the throat. What's on your mind, she said. Silence. Eyebrows lowered, my lips and face tight, head shaking dismissive, nothing. Question instead, what are you making? Sewing dresses, this one is yours. She watched my face soften and eyes began to smile. It's late, go to bed. And next we have Melinda.